Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, y'all. We're back together for another week of acknowledging our elders. My name is Nathan Hunter. I'm with the Bronx River Alliance in New York City Parks, and I'm excited to be alongside Journey Bimwala. I want to say hi, Journey.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's always a pleasure to see you guys every week, right? Like you can say, my name is Journey Bimala. I am a clinical herbalist, forager, co-chair of the Foodway, member of Friends of Concrete Point Park. So we're gonna have an awesome day like we always do every week. So I hope you guys are ready and excited to learn about some new plants or just reconnect with a new plant that we have for you today with our special guest.
Yes, we're excited to welcome Citlalli to the room. Uh, Citlalli is one of our newest interns here at the Bronx River Alliance, and I'm super excited to welcome them. Citlalli, do you want to just introduce yourself and welcome folks?
Yeah, so my name is Citlalli. I'm from the Bronx, New York. I'm a current student at NYU, majoring in environmental studies, and I've had the great opportunity to be interning here at the Bronx River. Currently focusing on soil testing, so it's pretty fun to see how people are just so willing to come out here and volunteer and learn about how toxic metals could really affect our food and overall just environment. So pretty cool.
Yes, and I'm so excited because I'm making some connections that we didn't talk about regarding your plant. So I'm excited for you to share with folks what plant we're talking about today. Um, and I'm just gonna pull up our little visuals as you introduce the plant.
Yeah, so today I chose a plant that's really special to me, spinach. I feel like it's been around me since I was very young. I remember at first I didn't really like spinach because I was like, oh no, it's green. But then eventually, like I I really grew to love spinach. It's very high on a lot of vitamins and used for a lot of medicinal properties. But yeah, I first was exposed to spinach from my grandparents. Two of my grandparents actually, one from my dad's side and his mom's side, and then the other one from his dad's side. So they have like a small little garden in New Jersey and in upstate in New York. So they grew tomatoes, cilantro, papalos, which is a Mexican version of cilantro. So I feel like I've always grown up with a lot of plants, and we've just used them a lot with our foods. I feel like really resonated with me. Just how widely it's used.
Yes, I mean, we were reflecting on spinach earlier and its versatility, and really appreciate how yeah, how accessible the plant is. We were kind of acknowledging that earlier. Um,
Mhm.
I just want to like shout out the name real fast and recognize that it has a botanical name. This is Spinacia olicaria, and it's part of the amaranth family. And for a lot of us, we might connect with the amaranth on a different level, where it's about grains and
Mhm.
like kind of carbohydrates or higher calorie foods. And you mentioned, Seat Lily, about how this is full of it's like packed with vitamins. I think about it as packed with protein and fiber. Um, and we were kind of chatting about this a little earlier about how, for me, when I think of protein and fiber in general, I think of like kind of dry, kind of icky, or like some negative connotations. And for me, spinach is the opposite. It's like lush and juicy and like wonderful in so many other like hydrating ways. Um, how are you connecting with or with spinach these days? Like, what are some of your favorite ways to use it?
Well, I love using it in smoothies, especially. Like I always, especially my parents, they wake up early in the morning and make their green juices. They put spinach, they put banana as well. Like my personal way is putting spinach, banana, and matcha green tea, and yeah, it tastes delicious. So like I think, and a little bit of milk as well. Usually oat milk, and I think it tastes great, and it really energizes me. And I we also tend to cook veggie patties. There was a time where my dad actually went vegetarian, so there was a lot of greens involved, and veggie patties were always like our favorite, especially with cheese, like tortilla, and we also use it in soup as well. And like there's just different ways to use spinach. And another way that my dad especially has been incorporating spinach into our foods is actually in a Mexican traditional dish, which is like handmade tortillas, and like you just put cheese. But he, instead of making a regular handmade tortillas, he includes spinach, so they end up looking green, and it's a lot more eye pleasing and very tasty. Like it tastes way better than I think the traditional tortillas. But yeah, like I think we've used it in several ways, whether it's just even eating it raw, like or just like cooking it actually, like in veggie patties. So it's we use it a lot.
That is awesome. I really appreciate the way your dad is like sneaking veggies into your diet. So
Yeah.
thoughtful, and also that you really appreciate the meal that is like that veggie patty. Like you're really the way you're speaking about it. It sounds like you really it's tasty. Like you really enjoy it.
Yeah, like I remember at first I was struggling to get into greens, but then eventually I became a big fan of greens, especially because I saw it very much, like so often, especially going to my grandfather's home. We would always prepare meals there, and I think it was just like a family tradition almost because we would go and we would pick out spinach, pick out cilantro, and tomatoes. And I think that right there, that's a whole meal, you know. And like taking it back to like the Bronx here, it really made it worthy and more um, flavorful because it wasn't just like grown from anywhere. It was a place where I really felt close to.
I love what you just shared because like I'm sitting here, I'm listening, and so many things is popping in my head. One of the first thing I want to know, like, because you remember you said you didn't always like spinach, right? The green stuff's like, ew, it's green, I don't want it, right? And then you also mentioned like when you use it, like, you know, you feel something. So if you can just speak a little bit on that, like when, because for me, I always tell people like pay attention to how you feel after you eat something because your body will let you know if either that whatever it is that you just ingested is it a benefit, right? Or it's not. Is it making you sleepy? Is it slowing you down? Is it giving you energies and whatever it is? So I just wanted you like to just like share a bit about that.
Yeah, so it's not just tasty, but it does have a lot of benefits, as mentioned, like a lot of vitamin C, for instance, which is really good for skin health and immune infection. So I think right there it just says a lot, and I know it also has a lot to do with improving stress. And I'm a really anxious and I stress a lot. So um, it has helped improve my overall stress levels because now I feel like I don't necessarily stress a lot, especially with my juices that I make in the morning. Um, and I know it also helps boost heart health. And I know like um, it's helped me, especially when I was very active with sports, just drinking the juices. It really energized me. So I do feel like genuinely does have a huge effect on how I feel and how I am to others because I think if anything, I'd probably become more positive, more um, more happy overall. So I do think it has a lot to do.
Oh, so you experienced that saying, what they say, you are what you eat.
Yeah,
Right? So
it's
you feel
true.
energized and all of the other benefits, less anxious and all of these things. I love that. Another thing that you shared, and I think that will be really helpful for parents, right? Because parents, you want to give the kids healthy stuff to eat, and when they're young, depending on what type of child you have, it's like, ew, I don't want it. It tastes nasty. There's all of these things, but you are a perfect example of someone who, okay, as a child, is like, I didn't really like it, wasn't really my thing, but then because of the family coming in together, the picking, the going to all these different places and seeing it. You saw the plant whole, picked it. You was just in the area also where the plant was, and all of this is ingrained in you. And then as you got older, you know there was a change, something you changed, and you took that on, but this time it's like, ooh, I'm seeing the benefit. I like it. You find an enjoyment to it. So now it's like something you do a lot, right? So it's like your mom and your dad don't have to sneak anything into your thing anymore. You willingly are taking it in. So I just want to let parents out there know, like, this is a really great technique to get your kids um to like their veggies. Even if they don't like it, but it's like just having it around them, taking them with you to the stores. If you're going to the store, the farmer's market, or at the garden, right? So they're seeing it all the time and they're having that experience, the memories. You speak about your father, your mom, your family, all of that memory attached to this amazing plant that now, you enjoy it, and then you're sharing it with the world. But I really like that because it gives me a great insight. It's like, okay, if I have a picky eater, if I'm struggling to get a child to eat something, that's what I'm going to be using. Just that, just creating a connection of the plant, a family connection.
No, I agree. Like, I think just hopefully there are more ways. Like, I think the Bronx River is having is a great opportunity to expose kids at a young age to more plants, for instance. Like, I think just connecting with the plants one on one, or have that experience, that connection to actually want to eat it as well. Because like I know, for example, my mom is also carrying on what she has taught to us, like introducing to smoothies or veggie patties onto her job. Because right now she's a nanny, and so she takes care of a little girl, and she's been introducing these plants to her diet, and you see the difference as well with the little girl. Like, and I think my mom does a great job introducing plants in a very healthy and not like forceful way either. It's not like, oh, like, here, eat it. Like, if anything, the little girl's like the one that actually wants to eat more. She grabs her own plate and just says, I want. So
That is great. Your mom is an awesome role model. Do you have children, if you don't mind me asking?
no, I do not.
See,
I currently live with my family. Yeah.
See, I love it though, because if or when you do decide, right, you already have,
Yeah.
you know, a way of how to go about introducing spinach, all of these healthy plants, to your child, because your mom she's done it with you, and then you've seen her do it with others as well, and you're picking up the ways, the technique, like all of this various way. I love it. Happy Mother's Day to your mom, by the way.
I was just about to say, I was like,
Yeah.
this feels like a Mother's Day combo. I appreciate
Yes,
that.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier. I see, Lali. I know you have like a close relationship with your grandfather who grows the plant. And I think about we had a seed giveaway not too long ago, and people were like, "All right, what do I grow inside?" Recognizing most of us live in apartments, right? without access to land, like gardens or anything we can grow plants into. And I think this is an excellent plant if you're trying to grow stuff inside. Spinach is great for a windowsill garden. Um, and I just really appreciate any moment you can kind of start a seed with someone, right? Plant that seed literally or metaphorically, but recognizing that if you don't have the garden space or something to continue those traditions, this is a good one to start inside on a windowsill. It doesn't need much root space. You can grow it in a small pot. It loves some dappled sunlight, like not too much full strong sunlight, which is usually the limiting factor for our homes. See, Lolly, what's it like
Yeah.
starting seeds or growing with your grandfather?
I think it's been very meaningful, especially because now he's moved to Mexico. So I think those moments were the ones that I treasured the most. I remember when I was very little, I would like be so excited because not only would I play in the backyard with my, but I would also then go tomato picking or I remember like I was just so excited, and my dad especially like would always like take us, make time just to take us. So I think those were very meaningful, and I do also agree that like I would like to start growing more in my house, for example, because I have started growing cilantro, but I've been wanting to start like introducing more plants indoors for me to actually go and like take for food, like whether it's cilantro, like I that's the one that I've started, or basil or radish, which are easier to grow indoors. So I feel like it'll be a great opportunity to carry on that tradition.
Love it. I think that train agrees as well. um, that's awesome. Journey, I one of the things that I was reading about, and I wonder if you know more as like my go-to herbalist, but the plant does have medicinal or like it supports, I know, like stomach issues, and I wonder if that's because of just the fact that it's high fiber. But if have you ever heard about more of it like medicinal, using this plant more for medicine than just like casual salad? Although food is our medicine, I guess. So
Absolutely. So digestive, it does help with digestion. It's also like Sally mentioned before, it helps with digestion and also helps with the skin. So other ways that you can actually use spinach, you can use it as tea as well. Okay, you can dry up the leaves of spinach, right? And because you can use it in smoothies, and you can also make some tea with it to help with digestive issue, skin health issue. You can also make a facial mask with it as well. Right? Whether you do the fresh and turn it into a paste, or you have the dry and you turn it into powder, then, wet it and do all of those things, you can definitely use it in those way. Now, there are some contraindication when it comes to spinach because it is high in oxalate. So if you are a person who has kidney stones, right? If you're dealing with kidney stones, spinach will not be good for you around that time because it's high in oxalate, and that's what helps to, when you have too much of it, um, you're going to have stones. So you just have to be mindful of that.
oh, that's so interesting. And that's
Yeah.
when I heard oxalic, I think of oxalic acid. Is that the same? It's kind of what often creates the sour taste, and like I think of sorrel. Like I think wood
Oh, yeah.
sorrel,
No, 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 no.
oxalic. That's something
No.
different. Okay.
Yeah, that's something entirely different. And a lot of our greens have them, but not all of them. Some have it a lot more than others, and spinach is one of those. So it always comes down to you knowing your body, right? And the state of your health. It doesn't mean that spinach is bad. That's never means at all. It's just mean that if you're dealing with kidney stone, right, during that time, spinach is not what you need at the moment Maybe try a different, you can still, like we talking about the amaranth family, right? So there is the callaloo, which is also amaranth, right? You can use the leafy greens of that instead of spinach, right? Because that one is not as high in oxalate as spinach is. But yeah, that's people always get shocked, but when it comes, people like, but I eat a lot of spinach. Yeah, sometimes you just have to take a break if you are susceptible to kidney stones.
No, I think that's really important to know, especially just to be able to understand your body before like getting too into spinach. But I again just the balance, understanding your body, and so yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Like I had briefly heard about it, but not as much. So yeah, thank you. And I do also know that it does um help prevent cancer. I heard something like that, and um, like the risk
Yeah,
of
no, it
cancer.
does. This is definitely something that you want to have in your diet for sure, because of the benefit. And then spinach is so easy to grow, is easily accessible to, like even foraging. Um, if you are foraging, let's just say by the water in terms of, the oceans and things like that, but the beach, there are some we have wild spinach growing out as growing out there as well. So it's very accessible and it should definitely be part of the diet, but just know how your own system work. So you'll know, okay, I can only have it every now and then, or well, I don't have that issue, so I can have it every day, all day, and I'm okay. So it's really, again, like you connecting and getting to know your body. And this is what these plant kind of really teach us all the time anyway, because like you mentioned, right? You've had it, and for your experience, your body have let you know, like, this is good. We like it. It's giving us energy. We get things done. It's relaxing other things. So it's like those are really good signs. Now, if you see that your signs um are not that great, or it's the opposite, right? Then you just listen to your body. It's like, okay, let me just dial back a little bit.
I really appreciate all this affirmation around its family, the amaranth family, because now that you're mentioning all the wild spinaches, right? I'm thinking of lamb's quarter, which we cooked together last season. That's part of the amaranth family. I'm thinking about what was the other? There's another wild spinach. It's the amaranth that we were just talking about. But just the fact that, like, part of the series of acknowledging our elders is also learning their names and learning who it's related to. And that's a really great way to know who's friend or foe when you're out there foraging. And I'm just having like all these like little moments of like, oh yeah, that makes complete sense, right? Uh, so shout out to the Amaranth family.
Yeah, I will say callaloo because I know that people in the Caribbean, that's what they know amaranth as callaloo, and it grows wild in the sidewalk, like is everywhere. The red, the green, it's literally all around us. And you mentioned lamb's quarters, right? So lamb's quarter is a great alternative to spinach. If you can't do spinach, right? Switching to lamb's quarter is perfect. And lamb's quarter is just now starting to pop its head out. Literally just now. It's not fully out yet, but the head is starting to pop out. So we're going to be seeing them soon enough.
Yes, I was actually just recognizing that as well as I was doing some weeding yesterday, but or 2 days ago. It's down for yesterday. Um, but this is really great. Really great information. See, Lali, I'm so happy you brought spinach into the room and got to uplift this really dope plant. I'm wondering as we kind of wrap up the conversation, what are there any last things we want to leave folks with um, regarding spinach?
I think just like I guess making it more accessible in the sense of like introducing it to kids, because I know it would be fun to find a way, a creative way to introduce kids in a way that they don't feel still forced to eat greens, but just also feel that energy and that, um, yeah, from spinach. So it'll be fun to find a way like that. Like maybe introducing it to like more local gardens. So that'll be fun. Okay.
For me, I'm like taking note of what you already do, which is making those patties. I'm gonna like try to figure out how to make my own spinach like veggie patties. That sounds perfect.
Yeah, they're great. They taste amazing.
Well,
Journey.
maybe we can figure that out. I want the recipe. Okay. If
Okay.
you know,
I'll send
the
it to
family
you.
is willing to share, I want something that's already tried and you guys have did it, you got the results. I
Sounds
would
good.
like
I'll
a
send it.
recipe. Yeah, no, I definitely agree that spinach should definitely be introduced to children. Out of all of the greens, my daughter prefers spinach. Out of all the greens that I cook, she prefers spinach. So it's always my fault too. Like if I'm like, okay, we haven't had any greens, and I'm trying to get something green into them. Like I know spinach is no brainer. I'm not gonna get no pushback, no question. Now another thing too. Anybody that's not necessarily from the United States, but you're now here and you have your greens from back home that you may not have here, spinach is a great substitute for that. Like however way you normally cook your greens in your home country, spinach is really great at replacing. Like in the Congo, we cook a lot of we have many different greens, but cassava leaves, right? It's it's one of our staple greens that we eat. Even though here there's like cassava leaves comes from yucca the tuber, right? Here they sell the tubers, but they don't sell the leaves, right? We eat the leaves, we eat the tuber and the leaves. So when I can't find cassava leaves and I want to make it like how we make it home, I just use spinach. Spinach is my replacement, and it still gives me really good satisfaction. I love the taste of it. It blends in really well with various type of the way of cooking it, because every culture cooks it differently, so it just flows, and I love that. So the last thing, I'm sorry, me will be to be just as versatile as spinach, because I find it to be very versatile. So I'm taking that versatility from spinach up of our talk today. That's what's coming into my mind, because any and everybody in all culture can turn into something amazing,
Yeah.
and it's agreeable.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned like your culture and how it could be used like pretty much anywhere in different cultures. Like I know for the Mexican culture, it's used mainly in soup, um, or like in other small ways. But I like how my dad introduced it to, even just instead of using the regular masa to make a tortilla, he actually incorporated spinach, which is something that I hadn't seen before. So I think it's very good to just introduce it. But thank you for sharing as well.
Yeah, that resonates, Journey, what you said is I'm gonna say it. Spinach is the unifier of our community. And today I'm gonna take away that spinach equals unity. So shout out to Spinach for holding it down, keeping us strong. I keep thinking of Popeye, the classic, cartoon character who loves to munch on spinach. Yeah, just it's always been a symbol of kind of strength, and now I'm really thinking of it as unity.
Mm-hmm.
But I think on that note, we'll close out. And just thank you again, Citlalli, for joining us this week. And for folks, stay tuned. Come join us next week as we meet another plant kin and uplift another member of our elder family. So join us next Thursday, same time, same place. Thank you again, Citlalli.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Journey.
Thank you. Bye guys.
Gotta stop.